And we are live. We want the gold, sucker. We want the gold, sucker. And what is up, you guys? It's your boy, Ben Goosen, back in action. Yo, I'm glad to be back. Last weekend, I had to be absent for a little bit. Had some family coming to town, spring some stuff on me at the last minute. Ain't no shame in the game. I'm going to break it down and beg like James, please. Hey. I'm just tripping. I gotta say what up to my boy who held it down last week. Started listening to a little bit of the show from last week. Good show, man. I always dig when we have to go solo, whether it's family, vacation, personal, business, great debates, which you can go back and listen to only a couple weeks ago. Hit us up in the archive for the Great Debate 1, which was done last year. We're coming up on our 100th episode. We got solo episodes. We got joint episodes. We have Mae Young Classic reviews. Got video game content coming through. Got a couple of demo videos. You could listen to my video that was just the worst fail ever with a mic. But I got to say thank you on the technology side, especially for my partner in crime. What's your name again?
My name is Kirsty Allen. Kirsty with the C.
Thirsty Allen.
Thirsty Allen.
That's going to be the nickname of Mrs. Ben Goosen. Thirsty Allen.
How
you doing, man? It was a good show last week.
I'm good. I appreciate it, man. Struggled to get some talking points through, but you know that I get a little crazy when I'm left to my own demise.
See, but that's the thing I like. Occasionally, I mean, we have 52 weeks a year. We do, what would you say, 46 at least? About 46 shows joint.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And you got 2 weeks, the Great Debate, couple family vacays here and there, or when the flu bug kicks through or something. But other than that, we'll say 45 just to be simple. We do about 45 shows a year. But when you do those ones by yourself, your mind starts running. And you get into all these other places, you get into topics. And yeah, man, I think that the solo shows, I'd much rather have you, my partner in crime, this whole time. The solo shows let the mind wander. And your show could be 2 minutes, or it could be, oh man, I think we've both done shows well over an hour, an hour and 20 minutes on the solo shows. Sometimes I forget what I've even talked about after an episode, but I appreciate everything. We got a good week in wrestling, or do we?
I don't know, man. maybe we ease into the wrestling talk this week. Talk about stuff outside the ring, man.
All right. Let's start off with stuff outside the ring, because I am a avid Miami Dolphins fan. And that damn game took 7 hours to finish this week. So for those of y'all that don't know, the Dolphins play the Titans. Rain came through. The game started at noon, ended at close to 7 o'clock because of rain delays. The football game was 3 hours, and there was 4 hours of rain delays. But you know what I got to see during the rain delays?
What'd you get to see, Goose? What'd you get?
I got to see the Pittsburgh Steelers play the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, buddy. You know what's going down, son. Your boy saves the mark. I've been waiting all season. I didn't get to see the Hard Knocks that everybody was saying was amazing and great because your boy wanted to be surprised on week 1. No preseason. Week 1. Oh, and your boy was excited, bro. We didn't win the game, but we didn't lose the game either. And that's the greatness of it. We are We have Super Bowl aspirations, and we might not have the best record today, but we're going to have the best record coming in next week. Let's go.
But you don't have the worst record in the league.
That's true.
You're better than half the teams in the league. That's the thing. I like what I saw. Josh Gordon had a touchdown. Tyrod Taylor threw him short on one deep ball attempt, and it was a pick. But you got the talent. So you have receivers. You got Josh Gordon, who's elite. And you have Baker Mayfield, who's just sitting there waiting for the start. And I heard he could throw 60 yards like it's nothing. So shout outs to the Browns. The Browns get the well, if we had an award of the week, what could we call it?
Oh man. Shock Your Mama Award.
Yeah. They get the Shock Yo Mama Award. So shout outs to the Browns. NFL kicked off this week. The game right now that's going on, we record this on Thursday nights. Ravens are getting their asses kicked by the Bengals for the most part. But yeah, we had a good week in the NFL kickoff this week. No drama, like no major world drama so far, except for the fact that Raw and SmackDown sucked pretty bad.
Well, Cardi B did throw a shoe at Nicki Minaj. Didn't really land very well.
So, okay, let's talk about that for a minute. I'm sick and tired. I'm so sick and tired of the Queen Bee. If I could sit down Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Lil Kim, and Foxy Brown, I would say, there is no Queen Bee. You are the Queen Bees. And if you really want to maintain and have the Queen Bee status and say that it has to live on, I'm sorry, but Beyonce took that from you a long time ago. Yeah. There is no Queen Bee status. There is no Queen Bee status at all. Like,
yeah, we ain't trying to get none of the beehive. Just for the record, we ain't trying to get the beehive after us. Although that could help us with some of the views and stuff like that.
Yeah, it could. The beehive, the beehive needs to follow us because we're supporters. But these women, why is it that women rappers feel they have to go at other women rappers? Why can't women rappers understand I'm a black woman in a man's game and I'm dominating a predominantly male game? Nicki and Cardi, regardless of the trash talk, whatever, you need to be supportive of one another. Do tracks together.
No, I mean, I agree, man. But I mean, the female rappers just traditionally have always been extremely territorial. It can never be it can never be we can share the spotlight together. It's always I have to be the one and nobody else. And if you come close to endangering my money, then I'm gonna come after you. I mean, it was like that with what was her name back in the day? Oh man, the Brat. The Brat was like that. I mean, she would kill pretty much any woman who would try to step up in the rap game, and we nearly didn't have any women rappers for almost like 10 years into her prime. What else do we have? Lil Kim. Lil Kim was like that until Foxy Brown, and then Foxy Brown came, and then after Foxy Brown, it was Nicki Minaj, and it's a cycle. We can never have two women in rap share the spotlight. We can have them in R&B. We can have In Vogue and SWV with no beef, right? Brandy and Monica was a little bit of a different story, but
Whitney and Mariah, yeah. But even the was it JJ Fad, Supersonic back in the day? Those girls had beef. It seems like women in rap have to have beef, but it's pointless. You already have a struggle being. I mean, you could see it evident by the Me Too movement. You already have had to struggle growing up, and then you're struggling coming into a male-dominated environment. It's just like women in corporate America. You've had to struggle just like everybody else. And
maybe the issue is that their prize pool is so small. Like a woman's success is really driven by in the game is really driven by the amount of money that they have. Whereas with the guys, it goes beyond just money. It goes, they have the cars, they've got the wristwatches, they've got the girls and the videos. You know, those are all indicators of success for them. Whereas with the women rappers, it's really only money and that's it. So
Yeah, I guess
maybe
you're right.
maybe that's it.
I guess you're right. It just sucks to see them, especially they. I mean, think about it. They sound alike. They damn near look alike. They're both on the come up, and they're almost like 1A, 1B. Like sing kind of about the same content, stuff like that, same body type. So it just sucks to see talented people, two talented women go at it like that. Speaking of the rap game, Eminem had a new album drop last week.
Yeah, buddy. That
was a good album.
kamikaze.
It was a good album. Did you listen? Did you get a chance to listen to some of it?
Dude, I listened to that all 13 tracks 26 times.
Easily. It's a very easy album to go through.
You got a favorite song on there?
You know, he released a video that I watched today with Joyner. I forget his name. So I do. I don't remember the name of it, which I know it's easy to say, well, all right, Goose, how's your favorite song if you don't remember the name of it? But it's
testing you to see if you actually listen to the album, bro.
Oh yeah. No, it's the intro album, the very intro where it's the first one where he actually disses the state of rap today.
Is that the Reaper?
Oh, it's the Ringer. Yeah.
The Ringer. My bad.
So that was the one that caught me because you and I joke around about mumble rap and stuff like that. And I can't get into rap these days. I try. And I talked to my younger brother. He's 18 years old. Old Ben Gooson's 35. Talked to my brother. He's into the young man's rap game. And I said, hey man, I can't get into this rap game. I can't get into it. It's the mumble rap, the no content, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. I just can't get into it. I try, I just can't. And he threw at me, no kidding. And I was froze. I got some good rap knowledge. And I said, no, just rap ain't what it used to be, man. And he said, hey, you have to just stop. You have to have fun with it. Don't look at lyrics. Don't look at what these guys look like with the face tats and the rainbow dreads. Just have fun. And I said, nah, it doesn't work like that. And he said, it don't work like that? What do you think of Chopper Style? And I was like, hey, no. Chopper Style is one of the greatest songs of all time. You go up in the club. And he goes, all right, sing some of it. And I said, nah, I don't know the words. I know the chorus. I know when the bass hits. And I know how you used to dance to it back in the day. And he goes, exactly. Just take that with today. So it did give me a little bit of like, oh, all right, I see what these dudes are doing out here. Because I didn't like it. But I mean, I grew up on No Limit and the lyrical content was not the greatest, but you respect the hustle.
Mr. Officer, man, take these handcuffs off of us. Ain't get nobody, it's the law for us. And riding on 40s is the law for us.
Knuckle up, buckle up.
Hooty hoo!
It's a song for the killers.
Bottle up, what I do.
You know what?
I feel you, man. I get it. It is in part the music's supposed to be able to get you to go, but it's just kind of hard to get into it when you can't relate or attempt to relate to what the content actually is. I mean, it's one thing to have a dope beat and a dope track, but it's another thing to master the artistry of rap, and you have to have some type of story to tell. It can't just be certified club bangers left and right. I mean, I think that's kind of the reason why 50 Cent kind of fizzed off after a while.
Yeah, I agree. I think 50 left the game, took his business ventures and did all that. So I feel like we don't have much to talk about. I didn't watch all of Smackdown. You text me the clip. I didn't get a chance to watch the clip. So
man, go watch that clip right now, bro.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'm going to watch this clip. You give me a Smackdown review. And I'm going to go into my text.
I'm not even going to give you the Smackdown review. You watch this clip right now. Just, ladies and gentlemen, just for context, we all know that wrestling this week was just kind of atrocious. But the best thing that came out of wrestling this week had to be, without a doubt, hands down, Samoa Joe and his New York Times bestseller, Night Night AJ. I've been trying to get your boy Ben Goosen to spend 3.5 minutes before the show starts just to watch it. Just to watch it and listen to it and take in the greatness that was Night Night AJ. And Goosen always failing. He's like the master procrastinator that I ever seen. Terrible. So Goose, you need to get into that. I'm just gonna while you listening to that, I'm just gonna go ahead and plug a couple of things real quick before we get into the beef, into the regular things of this. So, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for continuing to listen to your boys at It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Y'all make sure to hit us up on Patreon. Support your boys on Patreon. We got some great content going on right now, some behind the scenes, as well as some early access to reviews to the Mae Young Classic. I've already put 2 up there for our Patreon, so you guys go ahead and enjoy that. Where can you find that? I'm glad you asked. IRWP.us. You got that link right there. Hit the Patreon button, or you can go Patreon directly. Hit patreon.com/IRWP. If you're on Twitter, hit us up on Twitter at Real WrestleCast on Twitter. And we got Instagram. I mean, we live on Instagram. It's Real Wrestling Podcast. Y'all go and check that out. I just saw episode 2 of Mae Young Classic last night, and oh my gosh, it blew me away. A lot of great talent in the ring, a lot of surprises. My brackets are already messed up just because of some of these surprises that took place during the Mae Young Classic. So I can't wait to be able to share that with you guys. And make sure that when you see the videos or you listen to the listen to the audio podcast, make sure you guys hit the comments and let us know how you guys felt about it. Goose is like halfway into this Mae Young Classic. We got Steven Thatch in the chat right now. He's talking about that Night Night AJ. Yeah, don't spoil it for him. Yeah, he's almost done. Your boy Ben Goosen is almost done with the Night Night AJ. It's a legit promo. Yeah, it's a legit. I'm telling you, the New York Times bestseller Night Night AJ. Y'all make sure. Yeah, we don't know what the release date is, but we all begging WWE to come hard with it. Let us know so that we can get it. I mean, we need to get it. That's all I'm saying.
That was pretty good.
So what did you think about it, Goose?
So the promo was awesome, creative. They legit made a book and told a Night Night story.
Made a book, bruh.
Man, I
at the end, picture of Joe with Wendy, the little girl, and the title. Come on, man. Who does that? Who does that?
Oh, dude, that takes it for promos of this week. Because this week, so I watched all 3 hours of Raw. Sort of. So I watched Raw, took a break after the 2nd hour to watch Monday Night Football, came back and watched the 3rd hour, and all I could say was I knew it was a go-home show, but it was bad. It was like a night off, right?
Bruh, that wasn't even exactly. It wasn't a night go-home show. It was trash, dude. I didn't even sit through the main event, to be honest with you. I literally turned it off and ended up switching the games to the Lions and
Jets. Yeah,
I forgot who the Lions and the Jets. It was just.
Do you think they just gave? So I thought, all right, like halfway through it, I thought, oh, you know what? It's Monday Night Football, opening weekend in football. It's a go home show, so you're just gonna call it in because you're gonna lose ratings to football. But then they had Ronda Rousey fought her first official Raw match. So I thought, okay. But I feel like they timed that match to be during halftime of the early game of because the first game was at 6, so halftime would have been about 7:30. No, so
it was during the second one.
And it wouldn't have been during halftime of the second game because that game didn't start till 9:30.
Yeah.
So Raw was bad. I tried to find something good in it. I really did, but Raw was just bad.
Dude, there's this it just started off on the wrong foot, man. You had the Shield coming down and laying waste to every single person, every single heel person in the locker room with axe handles.
Yeah, I checked out
Axe
when I
handles,
saw that I
dude.
was done. You realize axe handles. You realize on an axe, say an axe weighs 15 pounds. You realize the handle weighs one.
Yes. I
It
just I couldn't suspend belief for not even a second. Like it honestly, you made your entire roster look weak. You telling me that AOP, who weighs more than all three of
yeah,
them combined, you're able to take them. Ambrose is able to take both of them out with axe handles. Then you
yeah,
have Kevin Owens, which I don't even know why how Kevin Owens is still there. I mean, last I know he quit, and based off of the Hulu cuts, I didn't even know he came back. I don't know what his story is. I don't even know why he's in the ring, like next to Braun Strowman. Like I don't get it whatsoever. It's just completely fell off. I get the whole B team taking the titles off of the B team, but if you're taking the titles off of the B team for your end game to give the titles to the Shield, which by the way, they announced that match on Monday. Tell me why the Shield gets tag team title opportunities. Like, how did they earn it?
it just. See, that's the thing is the axe handle thing annoyed me. The authors of pain are. You brought up a great reference point. These dudes are supposed to be straight killers. That's why Drake Maverick joined them, which I kind of like, by the way. I don't
Me
like
too.
that
I like that.
Drake Maverick dresses like them because that
It's
kind of
funny.
makes me. It is funny, but it kind of makes me think, man, I got all sorts. This place sounds like a fucking zoo here. I got all sorts of sounds going on in the background. It. I wish that, I really liked Paul Ellering with him because he had just all black. It was just straight attire. Drake Maverick can cut a promo. I've actually have caught some of 205 Live where he acts as the GM, and he is still the GM. I'd want him to be a pure heel manager because he's so much smaller than these guys. And these guys are supposed to be straight savage, straight killers, but yet they get taken out with 14 other dudes with axe handles. Give me another. And the thing is there's 20 million different weapons the Shield could have used that would have worked just fine. They could have grabbed chairs and then beat up 14 other people.
Chairs would have been better.
Yeah,
I mean,
anything.
honestly, it would have been better. But axe handles,
Yeah, anything. Anything could have worked so much better. They just didn't. They didn't. They didn't. It sucked. And you're right. The B team takes the L. So the B team the past 2 weeks has got completely crapped on. And I get it. They are the B team. They are meant to be jobbers. And the Shield is getting a tag title shot. I mean, I don't mind the 3-on-3, the Braun Strowman, Ziggler, and McIntyre versus the Shield. I guess, I don't mind it for the quick Shield reunion. Hopefully it leads to the Shield fighting the Revival one day and losing. Something, anything to put the Revival really strong on TV. But it's just, Raw is sloppy right now.
I literally can't. The stories differences between SmackDown and Raw are like night and day, black and white, moon versus sun. Like it's completely opposite. I cannot. For the life of me, it can't be the same writing team, man. It just can't be. Like
Why?
whoever's writing SmackDown is like consistently. I mean, we had R-Truth in the main event last week, and it was
Yeah.
entertaining as hell. I
And he
mean,
won.
and he won. I mean, and the booking is crazy too. And it's I I I don't know, man. We had Charlotte that's actually putting over talent in the ring, which like I where was this like when she was on Raw? Like whoever's running SmackDown is just they get it, man. they get it, and Raw just continues to go into a suck fest. I don't even know how Mick Foley is even at this pay-per-view, like how he got even involved in the pay-per-view.
Yeah, what the hell is that all about? And can I say
Oh,
something
man.
about Mick Foley's promos? Mick Foley's a Hall of Famer, but the promos that he does, where he comes out and he goes soft and he gives respect, and then he starts yelling, and he starts yelling, and he starts screaming, I'm like, you don't respect it. I've
Are you
heard
making
that,
fun of me,
man.
Goose? Making fun of me, man?
It's basically like you every Thursday night. But the promo that Mick cuts, I can't get into anymore because I know every single one of them is the same thing. Now he has the ability to cut very serious and very dark promos. I'll give him that. Jake the Snake had that. But it's just repetitive. I already know what's going to happen with him. I don't care. I don't know why he's in the Hell in the Cell. Good for him. I mean, paycheck, whatever. But what's the point? Like what does it do? And I don't like Braun Strowman as a heel, anyways. Before last week, you and I thought it was just a one-off. Who knows if that's the case at this point? But I don't know. I'm gonna watch the card. It's in our home city, and we're not going to it.
That's crazy,
And
man. It's a SmackDown pay-per-view. You know that, right?
by far, I'm not even. It's in
a,
our city, and we're not going to it. And I'm not like boycotting wrestling or whatever, but I don't have the desire to. I just don't feel like it. That's
I'm
bad.
the same. Honestly, man, like this is a SmackDown pay-per-view. The SmackDown side of the pay-per-view looks great on paper. But the Raw side is just such a damper that it's like why? I'm still trying. Raw is just becoming like unbearable. Like if this is how we're gonna be having it for like the next 16 weeks, I'm literally thinking like seriously checking out on Raw and just maybe supplementing NXT and for Raw reviews or something like that, man. Because it's terrible. It really
We have football to look
it's
forward to. At
that's
least that's a
true. I
good
mean,
thing
we
for
could
the next
supplement it with
16 weeks.
football. But it's just I I don't know, man. Something's got to give, man. Something's got to give. I just can't see them continuing on this path the way that it is right now.
Yeah, me neither. I don't. Hopefully, after Hell in a Cell, it picks up. I assume next might be one more pay per view and then Survivor Series, like one more not Big Four pay per view and then Survivor Series, right?
Yeah, so well, maybe not because we have two pay-per-views in October. Um we've got
Oh, the
the
women's.
Evolution pay-per-view and then we have the Super Show in Australia. And I think there's another pay-per-view after that. I think from there they're just going to go straight to Survivor Series.
They may. They very well may.
Yeah.
One highlight of SmackDown that I did catch, just in going back and watching clips, was Becky Lynch coming out as a fan.
I love it. Yeah.
Backs! I hope she doesn't lose. We'll get into our predictions here in a bit. I hope she does not lose. I don't care if she wins by DQ or count out or whatever, but I hope she doesn't lose cleanly. So let me ask you that: if fans are saying that Becky Lynch is the next, or kind of the female version of Stone Cold, is it too quick to put the title on her? Because Stone Cold, once he made the Austin 316 comment, he didn't win the title in a month. Matter of fact, he went on, moved on, feuded with Bret Hart, lost to Bret Hart, feuded some more, and then eventually won the title.
Yeah.
But I feel like you don't have that time these days with wrestling.
Yeah, and we've talked about the time span with the women versus the men, the longevity. I part of me says that yes, it'd be too soon to put it on Becky, but I mean, Tyler, I don't know, man, because Charlotte's got 7 title reigns already, man. She's tied with want to say Trish Stratus.
Oh, she's gonna beat all the women. She's gonna tie her dad for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of bad. From that, I digress. I I think that with the women's division the way that it is, and the amount of women that they have, I don't think that it would be in the traditional sense too soon to put it on her. But it needs to be worthwhile. Like, it needs to be a celebration that she got it. It can't just be like it's got to be memorable. This title run has to be memorable. The way that she gets this title has to be memorable. And I don't know that you can achieve that at Hell in a Cell with no stipulations. Like, I feel like there has to be some type of stipulation match for Becky to com, let me think of a different word.
Really?
Yeah, like, she needs to it has to be a big emphasis on her winning. Like, it needs to be memorable. It needs to go down as one of the greatest ways that she got the title. Because other than that, she'll just be lost in the fray in terms of the remaining title holder. I mean, Becky, or not Becky, but Carmella is known for being able to beat Charlotte twice and Asuka twice for the title. That's like her claim to fame, right?
Right.
Charlotte says that she never loses on a pay-per-view. Sasha Banks is known for winning the title but losing it when she defends the title. You got to give Beck something that's memorable for her, and at Hell in a Cell, I don't see it happening. So
Yeah, me neither. I don't think it'll be like a genuine loss, but I think
yeah.
maybe a DQ or like a cheap loss. Now, speaking of that, should we get into our Hell in a Cell predictions?
Yeah, sounds good, man. Let's get into it. Oh, wait, before we do, just really digress real quick. What did you think about All In?
Marty Scurll is the best wrestler on the entire planet ever. He's my new indie mark. I've been watching constant clips of him. I really liked that before his match. So I thought All in general was it was solid. It was just like I expected, kind of like an NXT, less promos, more wrestling. Marty Scurll, the intro to his match of Booker's telling him you're too small, and them playing up that whole thing, the Bookers, and him doing his traditional finger snap was amazing. Hangman Adam Page, that match was good. I worry that he's gonna. I hope not, but he's gonna break somebody's neck with his finisher. I forget the name of it, but it's like a reverse tombstone. But Okada Scurll like definitely made my night. Big Marty Scurll fan.
Oh, Okada with the 205.
Yes. Yes. That was big. Cody had a good match. I like that there was the drama in the middle of the match with the X thrown up and the color on Cody. I thought that was a good match. I liked what I saw out of everybody on the card. Kenny O and Pentagon was just good. Like from the moves that some of these guys hit on each other, I don't know how they don't get injured, but they're professionals. They know their craft. And other than that, of all those matches, I thought they were good, but I thought the main event sucked really bad. It was really rushed. I ended up hearing that it was cut short of time. But other than that, it was successful. Like, everything was a true success. Great show.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, man. Looking forward to this next year. It's going to be interesting because I think they're putting on something the same week as WrestleMania. Don't know if it's going to be as big, but kind of interesting that they're going to be like right across the street from WrestleMania at New York. So it's going to be interesting to see that next year. But are doing all the right things, man, and they're literally shotgunning independent wrestling on their back and All In. I like the concept of All In, basically saying all independent wrestlers, this is the show for you. 5 hours of greatness.
Yeah, come showcase your talent.
Yeah, including floating penises.
The Joey Ryan segment was awesome too. Just it was like the the gimmick of the night. He got a huge pop. I wish if Joey Ryan, if this was the Attitude Era, he'd be big. It was
They
just
would.
it was awesome. I thought that I don't know if you noticed, but they heavily emphasized the Bullet Club by having the Bullet Club logo all over stuff and all over the
Yeah,
main screen because the Bullet Club's the biggest thing in indie wrestling. Plus, it'll also I don't know if this was their intent, but it'll also help slang some merch at Hot Topic and stuff like that. So I just thought it was good, man. They didn't spend too much time emphasizing who the Bullet Club was. You didn't see a lot of guys coming out in Bullet Club tights or anything like that. So I just thought it was good, man. Good overall, super independent show. You could tell with some of the stuff that went on that it was an indie show, but that's what makes it 10 times better.
I agree. I agree. Less scripting, more wrestling, and more fun. Just that's how it should be, man. That's how it was back in the day, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, I agree. Hell in a Cell. I mean, we've already kind of talked about one match, the SmackDown Women's Championship match, what we think is going to go on there. Let's get into our predictions. I don't know if this is on the kickoff show, but uh, well, this week I think it was. I'm just going over the card as it was announced. The New Day versus Another Day, Rusev Day, was announced this week. I would love to see Rusev Day win it, but I think the New Day is going to keep it strong and keep the title for a while.
Yeah, I think that the New Day is going to end up handing it off to Sanity. That's where I think their direction is going to be. This is going to be a really good match. I could foresee Aiden English because it seems like they've been putting again this great constant storytelling. Aiden English is going to come to his senses and figure out that Rusev doesn't really care about him, and he's going to end up either bailing on him or costing Rusev the match. Rusev is going to end up taking the pin on this one, causing a split between Rusev Day. That's kind of how I see it happening.
Yeah, breaking them down. Yep, I'm going to go with the same route. I think the New Day is going to pick up the W here. Keeping it in the Raw, in the tag team title scene, Ziggler and McIntyre versus the Shield. Or, well, I guess it'd just be Ambrose and Rollins, technically. You mentioned earlier, you said that they're building this, they're having the B team lose so the Shield can win the titles. Are the Shield walking out this weekend out of San Antonio, Texas?
As much as this is going to piss me off to say, I think that that's the route that they're going to go. They're going to give them the titles, and that way the Shield has all the gold. I think it's a complete mistake and waste. I don't understand what the end goal is from a logic standpoint, but I I think it's trash, man. I really don't care about this match.
Yeah, I'll watch it. It'll be on. I like that Ambrose is back, but maybe this feud's going to drag on for a bit. Like I said, I hope the revival comes to play soon because those guys can put on a hell of a match. I don't care much about this one either. I'll go with Rollins and Ambrose because I believe the Shield will all have titles again. So that kind of spoils who I think is going to win the main event. But yeah, I'm not looking for the most entertaining match here. Tag matches, sticking with them. The Bella family versus the Mazanin family. I think this match might be better than a lot of people think.
Yeah, I think this is going to steal the show, to be honest with you. And if not for nothing, it's definitely just going to be Miz and and Brian for the majority of the match. Something that I noticed, and you didn't really see SmackDown this week, but or maybe I don't know. Did you see the main event on SmackDown this week?
I did not.
Okay, so basically it was billed as Brie Bella versus Maurice, a one-on-one match. Um, it was the match sucked itself, but the aftermath of the match and some of the after the disqualification was amazing, like completely amazing. Like Miz putting his hands on Brie Bella, taking her out of the ring and slamming her at the Miz or at Brian and Brian attacking Miz, and like they're really playing up the mix max challenge stuff. So I thought that was pretty dope,
Nice.
man. But I digress. I think that I think the I think the Miz can afford to take an L on this one. I think it just makes sense for Daniel Bryan to win this one. I don't foresee the women wrestling very much. I was even shocked that they even build the women at the main event of SmackDown, just because I think it's still too soon for Maurice to be taking bumps, like serious bumps. I know that she's 5 months out, but although she looks fantastic, I think that she's not yet in ring shape cardio wise.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot that goes on. It is kind of a gimmick match. I could see Daniel Bryan winning it just because Miz picked up the big W, their last fight. So, and then the feud continuing on, because a feud like this is going to last for a while. But it's fun to have the both part-time, I guess, if you want to call it that, wrestlers and the females going in. It'll just add for that extra drama. Charlotte and Becky, I kind of feel like we've touched on that already, right?
We did, but I don't think we are on the same page in terms of how the match is going to end.
So I definitely have Becky Lynch not coming out the champion, but her still coming out strong. So I'll go with maybe Charlotte by cheap victory, but Becky Lynch beating the crap out of her afterwards. That's where I'm going to go with that.
I have this being some type of DQ finish here. They've already built this match to be taking place at the Australia Super Show. So I think that I think Charlotte gets the DQ, prompting for Becky to get her match on the title. I think it doesn't make sense if Becky gets the DQ.
Do you think it'll be on the Australia or the Evolution?
No, it's definitely on the Australia. They've already, like 2 weeks ago, they announced that this match was also going to take place at the Australia show, which I thought that was kind of dumb for them to do that, considering that the Hell in a Cell match had not yet been finalized. But they did it. So what I think is going to end up happening is I think that Becky's going to unfortunately win it at the Super Show. I'd prefer her to win it at Evolution, but I think that she's going to win it at the Super Show, and then they'll have one more match at Evolution.
Yeah, I agree. Good point. So Evolution is after the Super Show, right?
Yes. So it's the Super
Show. Maybe
the
main event the Super. Maybe the main event Evolution.
I hope so, but with Ronda Rousey being the champ and they're favoring Raw, I could also see that closing the show, unfortunately.
Showcasing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Speaking of Rousey, let's get into the next women's main event. Rousey versus Bliss.
Why is this match happening again?
It's the whole rematch clause thing.
Gotcha.
But hey, at least Rousey defends her title. Like you've mentioned before about Brock, at least she defends it.
Yeah, she's already ahead of Brock. So got Rousey winning this one, hands down.
But will it be a close match?
I don't think so. I think it'll be another squash match. This one's not really. I mean, they've built Sasha, or not Sasha, but they built. Or they're starting to hype up Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus at Evolution. So this match is just like they're blowing their wad, bruh. Like seriously, like we can't even get into Hell in a Cell because we already know what's coming at Evolution and at the Super Show. So what's there to be excited about? Like I'm telling you, I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant. If I was serious about going to this pay-per-view, since it is in San Antonio, and they blew their wad on what was going to happen at the pay-per-view right afterwards, I would refund my tickets right off the bat or not buy them at all. I think it's dumb marketing to let it leak out what the next pay-per-view is going, like the matchups for the next pay-per-view are going to be, when things have not been resolved on your current pay-per-view.
Yeah. No, I agree. So you're kind of thinking it's a almost like a go home pay per view.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that. Um, I'll take. Yeah, I don't see the title changing hands, so I'll go with Ronda Rousey as well. Uh, Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. I kind of forgot about those two guys that they're going to be fighting. That smirk on
Oh,
your face, you can, I can tell you do too.
yeah. Someone's gonna die in this match, man. This is actually in Hell in a Cell. Someone's gonna die in this match. I don't know. I think the smart booking for this particular match would be Shinsuke Nakamura scoos over Randy Orton, giving Jeff the win, but Jeff gets seriously injured to where he can't compete and he's off of TV for a couple of weeks, setting up a feud between Knock and Randy Orton.
Orton. Yeah, it certainly could work. Who's going to win?
I got Jeff winning this one, man.
Same here. Uh, we'll skip the what will be a good match. Let's go to the Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. So who do you have in this one? I've already given you
Okay.
my answer earlier. I think the Shield leaves the night with all the titles.
Yeah, I mean the safe play is definitely go with Roman, but I've stuck with this since SummerSlam, and I'm gonna keep with it. I think that somehow Kevin Owens gets the actual Money in the Bank, cashes in, and wins the title, taking it away from Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. I think that that's what's going to end up happening because Braun doesn't physically have the title, and to me that would be like the oh shit, like technically speaking, he's got the title. I mean, he's got the briefcase. He's cashing it in. He could win it.
So you know he's feuding with Bobby Lashley, right?
No, like I said, I didn't even know he came back. Other than seeing him at the ringside, but I just think that it would be an interesting booking if they did it that way. I'm holding that theory out.
So with the exclusion of the Hulu cut, Kevin Owens quit 2 weeks ago, came back a week later and beat up Bobby Lashley, and then came back this week and cut a promo on Bobby Lashley.
Are you saying excluding the Hulu cut?
Yeah, the Hulu cut from 2 weeks ago. So the Hulu cut 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure if it was on there, but Kevin Owens quit, right?
Right. And then
Came
the
back
following week
to beat up
came
Bobby
back
Lashley.
to Raw against the Shield, and that was it.
Okay, so you may have missed it. A week later, after he quit, Jinder Mahal was hosting like a yoga session type thing, and Shanti in the ring. And Kevin Owens came out a week after he quit and beat up Bobby Lashley. This week, he came out and cut a promo on Bobby Lashley. So the I quit thing went nowhere. It was a waste of time. And it's him feuding with Bobby Lashley.
Like I said, I have Kevin Owens. We're taking that briefcase. That all that is just a smoke screen, bruh. Nobody cares. Leo Rush is handling Bobby Lashley right now, building up his career. That's where that's going right there. I don't know about this whole KO, and I don't want to know about this whole KO. KO is taking the Money in the Bank. He's got a side deal going on with Baron Corbin. He's cashing in that Money in the Bank. He is going to be your new Universal Champion after Hell in a Cell, guaranteed.
I like how you're just crapping on the fact that he came back for the past 2 weeks because it was bad storyline writing. I'm going to go with Roman Reigns just because I think the Shield's going to leave with all the titles and look super strong. But the real match of the night is AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. We didn't get a finish the last pay-per-view, or true finish. I think this one we do, and I just don't see AJ Styles losing to anybody anytime soon.
Night, AJ. That's all I got to say. Night, AJ.
If he went to sleep, how crazy would that be?
It would be crazy if he puts him to sleep within the first 2 minutes of the match. Like this match, like literally needs to be a 2-minute match where Joe just squashes him. Like AJ's just emotionally distressed about everything that's going on. He loses focus, and as a result of it, he gets caught. He's out in 2 minutes. The real question is is this gonna actually main event the show?
Yeah, good point. No, it won't. No, absolutely not. But it's the
It's a
people's main event.
travesty.
Yeah, it's the people's main event for sure. By far the
Yeah.
people's main event. But I think it'll be a good match. I think that'd be a good idea if it did wind up to where AJ gets caught like in the first 2 minutes. Maybe he doesn't go for the P1 forearm or whatever, but somehow he gets caught and choked out. That would shock the crowd, and then it sets it up perfectly for another match.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's going to get another match. We all know that. He'll have his rematch clause, but in the interim, you need to go the shock and awe approach to get people like truly behind Joe as a legitimate champion, man. And I don't think that you can do it any other way than just shocking the world and making this a 2-minute squash match.
Yeah, I agree. So what else do we have to get into this week? It's kind of a boring week in wrestling.
Yeah, like I said, wrestling wasn't other than SmackDown wrestling was kind of So yeah, so that's it, man. That's all I got for you, man. How are things going in the? Oh, so I finally, just for the viewer's sake, I got a little story to tell. Um, Probably about 2 or 3 months ago, there's this image that was coming. Uh, there's this image that came out with like pixelated, and I even said it on the podcast. It's like half the image was pixelated, and I, for the life of me, could not understand the context to it whatsoever. So I asked my boy Ben Goosen, "Yo, what's up with all these pictures?" Because I think it was the same weekend where Johnny Gargano and
Tommaso Ciampa fought
Tommaso
it.
Ciampa fought. Yeah. And I saw that. I was like, man, I feel like this is a reference to Infinity Wars, like the Avengers Infinity Wars. And Goose was like, nah, man, nah. It was someone created it on Reddit and it just took fire and took wind. I was like, okay, well, I guess. And I was like, well, I ain't gonna look at it because it's Reddit, right? I probably won't get it anyways. But last week I ended up renting Infinity Wars and got towards the end. I won't spoil it, but I got to the end of it, and I was like, that damn Ben Goosen lied to me. Like, this fool lied to me. I was like, now I understand where these pixelated images is coming from. Now I said at first I was upset. I was petrified. But reflecting 2 minutes later, I was like, you know what? Ben Goosen did a great job, man. Because if I was in the same shoes, I would have done the same thing for him. So not to spoil it. So Goose, I appreciate that, man.
I'm surprised that you went this long before seeing it, the biggest movie of all time, and didn't know the ending of that movie. You had to deal with the pixelated images. I guess that movie was only really spoiled on social media for like 2 weeks. Then everyone stopped talking about it.
Yeah, they did. I will say this, man. This show, or not the show, but this movie has probably been in, for me, like one of the most well-kept secrets in terms of like the plot. Like,
oh yeah,
the spoilers and everything like that. And I knew that there was a campaign that came out that said that Thanos requires your silence or something like that, and pretty much everyone just kept tight lip about how the movie was, how it ended, and things like that. So I think that they did a good job, and the community itself did a good job at keeping the movie a secret. But I will say, man, having gone and seen the movie, like, I really, really like Thanos. Like, he's not really the heel that you want to hate. Like, you kind of just understand Like, I felt like I understand what he was trying to do, just sucked the way of how he was going about doing things, and I could appreciate that, man. It's like it just it kinda hit home for me, man, because like the concept of what he was doing kind of applies to how we live our lives today in terms of the resources that we consume and the amount of people that we have in the world and things like that. So I thought it was really well written. I absolutely loved it. The political aspect to it as well as like the real life aspect to it mixed in with the fantasy is pretty good stuff, man. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, that ending. Think about it. To create that ending, it's all CGI. There's a director, some writers, and some producers, and the whole CGI animation studio they broker that out to. There must have been at least 100 people who knew that ending, and none of them spoiled it.
Yeah. That that's just amazing stuff. Now, what I don't know is Captain Marvel coming out before the next Avengers movie?
Don't know yet. They haven't said
Uh,
anything yet.
well, I mean,
But the next
it doesn't
Avengers
have a
is
release
coming
date. They've already
out.
started showing pictures of the set and stuff, but they haven't
They have
released
the
a release
the
date
next
for it.
Avengers will come out right. I think it comes out next year, right before all the like next. Well, before Black Panther 2, obviously.
Gotcha.
Obviously, they need to clear up that part. But yeah, so I saw that movie, and I got to admit, I was so tired when I saw that movie. I didn't get much of what was going on. I was exhausted. But I don't know if you noticed this, but they referenced several times, hey, this Thanos guy, he's pretty powerful. They reference it, I think, twice in the movie. Yeah, he could snap his fingers and this whole world is gone. They reference it once or twice on the sly in a conversation in the movie. And
Yep.
at the end, and I loved this when I saw the movie, at the end, Thanos gets his ass kicked. Thor hits him. And I could have swore he told Thor, I couldn't tell what he said at the time. He said, you should have aimed for the heart, or he said you should have aimed for the hand. What
You
was it?
should I think you said you should have aimed for the head.
The head. Okay, you should have aimed for the head because he had gotten his ass kicked,
Yeah,
and right
he
when
damn,
was
he
it
got that beat down, man.
right before the kill shot, he he looks up, snaps his fingers, disappears into the portal, and you think, okay, that's the end of the movie. That's it. It's done. It's done. The movie's over. No more. And then you see people start disappearing, and then Spider-Man getting the Spidey sense,
Oh, that
and
was great.
Mr.
That
Stark
was
feel good. And then what sold it for me is you saw Black Panther die. Because to me, I was like, oh yeah, he's the next big superstar, biggest black action movie of all time, or whatever it was. And then you see him disappear, and I'm like, oh hell no, I can't believe. And it just caught me off guard. Caught everybody
yeah.
off guard.
That it's the marketing part of that it makes is ingenious, to be honest with you, because now you have to watch the next Marvel movie that comes out, not the next Infinity Wars, but the next Marvel movie that leads into the next Infinity Wars movie. So that I think that like you can't watch Spider-Man and you can't watch Black Panther before you see the next Avengers movie, because then there's like going to be a plot hole on there, like a pretty big one, unless it took place beforehand. So that I thought that they did a good job, man. Who's not doing a great job right now is DC. Two of their lead characters, uh, for arguably their biggest franchises, have decided to part ways with the studio.
Yes, Ben
Heard about
Affleck
that?
and Henry Cavill. Yeah, Henry Cavill.
Cavill? Yeah.
So Henry Cavill, it was confirmed today that he's not necessarily leaving. It's that he still wants to be Superman, and he's an amazing Superman, by the way.
Yeah, he
He still
is.
wants to be Superman. From this on Twitter, on Instagram, all that stuff. But he's interested in doing it. He wants more money. He wants the money he deserves. But there's the reason he's not doing Superman now is because there's no scripts that are coming out for Superman. So the media leaks weren't exactly correct.
Gotcha.
So he clarified it on social media, basically saying, no, it's just that I'll do it if they pay me the right money. It's just there's the reason I'm not doing Superman is because there's no Superman movie being made right now.
Where the hell is the Flash movie?
I don't think they're gonna do it because Aquaman comes out in December, but DC got rushed. It was, yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do it. That's a tough sell. DC has kind of screwed themselves up. I think they could have done a lot with Man of Steel, like a lot, but who knows? They don't know where they're going.
That's a shame, man. DC's my favorite in terms of the characters and stuff like that. And it's a travesty to see where they were heading versus where they are now. Just all the projects seems to be dead in the water, and I mean, it's a travesty, man.
Yeah, it really is. This week we had a good week in non-wrestling activity. We had some football. Touched on All In from 2 weeks ago. Got football coming up this weekend. Got Hell in a Cell. Hit us up. I gotta give props to the IRWP for giving out some Black Ops beta codes. PS4 only. I got a PS4 Black Ops beta code. Hit us up on Twitter at Real WrestleCast. Excuse me. All you got to do is follow us, reply to our comment, so we see that you follow us, and so we see that you replied. And we're going to do a random drawing. I'm actually going to do it tomorrow night and ship out the beta code because the PS4 actually got access to it 3 days ago at this point. Xbox gets it here tonight, and actually at midnight, I believe. So we are giving out Black Ops 4 beta codes so you can play the game early. It's for the Blackout version, which is Black Ops version of Fortnite's Battleground. So it should be pretty fun. Your boy Ben Goosen will try to hop on that this weekend. Probably be on tomorrow night. Other than that, Sage and Mark, it's good to have you. It's good to be back.
Always
I don't like taking time off, but it's good to be back.
You gotta take care. You gotta take care of your squad, man. You gotta take care of your clan. So I get that, man. That's why there's two of us.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Other than that, I'm your boy Ben Goosen. We got Hell in a Cell this week. We got a lot going on. Hopefully we get a good show and it ends up, hopefully there's a surprise here and there. And it's just not kind of like a go-home show for the next two pay-per-views, which say you hit the nail on the head. That's kind of what it's turning out to be, is just a go-home show for the next 2 weeks. Or the next two shows, excuse me. I'm your boy Ben Goosen. That's your boy Sage and Mark. Keep it real.
Browns 2-0-1.
Hey, what up? I'm your boy Ben Goose, and the thoughts and opinions are that of the IRWP and not of the host. Hit us up at Real WrestleCast on Twitter. I mentioned earlier in today's show we have a Black Ops 4 beta code giveaway. Black Ops 4 beta code giveaway. Black Ops 4 beta giveaway. You can play Battleground this weekend. Hit us up on Twitter. There's a tweet out there that gives you the instructions on how to win, how to be entered in the giveaway drawing. Just subscribe to us and reply to the tweet. Real simple. We'll keep track and give it away to one random winner. Hey, at Real WrestleCast, everybody, hey, keep it real, gangsters.